Hi everyone, it is Dr. Ram Cheravu here. I want to share with you a few thoughts from a yoga class that I attended actually several months ago. So my wife and I, we were on a cruise and we stopped in the Bahamas, and there is a famous yoga retreat center there. It's called the Shivananda Ashram. So we decided to stop by, and I was also with my cousin and my brother-in-law, and it just so happened that they're having a special seminar that day on Kundalini Yoga, and it was one of the foremost teachers of Kundalini Yoga. And I've never done Kundalini Yoga before, and I wasn't familiar with it, but hey, we decided to jump in and give it a try. In the middle of this session, it was probably about a 45-minute or hour-long session. And in the middle of it, the instructor had us do this exercise. We all stood up and we started rotating our arms forward in a forward motion like this. And he's like, just don't stop until I tell you to go, until I tell you to stop. And we're just rotating our arms forward, both arms forward simultaneously. And a couple minutes pass this way, and he's encouraging us, like, don't stop, don't judge your thoughts, is what he kept on saying. Just say yes. Just test your limits and go see how far you can go. And by this point my arms are burning pretty bad, right? But I was trying to listen to him, like, don't judge my thoughts. And if you've ever attended like a meditation seminar or a yoga retreat or anything like that, they've always used this phrase that don't judge your thoughts. And honestly, I never really knew what that meant until I attended this particular yoga session. And it's actually since then I've had some time to contemplate and to think about what that meant, to not judge your thoughts. And it's really been transformative to me and in my life moving forward past this Kundalini Yoga session. The funny thing is that after probably 5 minutes of this, our arms are dead. He said, okay, put your arms down. And we're like, oh, thank goodness, we're done with this. And then he says, okay, now rotate your arms backwards for another few minutes and don't stop until I tell you to stop. And again, encouraging us, yes, you can do this. Say yes, dig into it. Yes, you can do it. Constantly encourages us, don't judge your thoughts. And so afterwards, when I was contemplating on this, and what does that mean to not judge your thoughts? I've kind of heard this phrase over and over again before in other types of seminars. And what I came to realize, and how this session was so transformative to me, is that oftentimes when we go through a difficult situation, it's not the difficult situation that is really that difficult. It's our own mental chatter and our own mental thought processes that make it more difficult than it has to be, right? So to give you an example of how I use this in my day-to-day life, when I go to the gym and work out, if you're doing yoga or at the gym and lifting some weights, you're holding a particular pose or doing a particular exercise, and you have a thought that says, my legs are burning here. And there's nothing wrong with that thought. That's an objective thought that you notice something about your body that, my legs are burning. And that's okay, but what tends to happen is that second and third thought that comes after, that we tend to judge that first thought, that, oh, I can't do this anymore, or I have to stop, or, I'm not as strong as I thought I was, right? So we are judging that first thought. And it's often that judgment, that mental chatter, that stops us from pushing past our limits, right? So then now what I'll do is, okay, I'll notice my legs are burning, but instead of judging it, I'll just say, don't judge my thoughts, push past it, and just clear my mind and push a little bit further, okay? Then when another 10 seconds have passed, that other thought comes, like, oh, my legs are really burning now, right? That's, again, an objective thought, but I say, again, don't judge my thoughts and push a little further. When I was a retail pharmacist, one of the things that I'll commonly do is give flu shots. And a lot of people don't like getting their flu shots for, good reasons. And a lot of people would be like, like squinting their eyes and be like, okay, just get it over with, just get it done, do it really fast. And I'm like, I already did it, right? So a lot of times it's that anticipation that we have for the difficulties that we're approaching, a difficult situation or challenge in our life, that's actually worse than the actual situation itself. How many situations have we faced in our lives where when we actually mustered the courage and did the event, it's actually not as bad as we anticipated? So oftentimes it's our own mental chatter that makes things more difficult than it has to be. So, and that's one of the biggest values that I found being coached and coaching in my life is giving people a little bit different perspective on facing the challenges in their life. If you feel that you're stuck in your life or you're facing a challenge that maybe you're having difficulty mustering the courage to push forward and get past that difficulty and challenge in your life, coaching might be the exact right thing for you. I would encourage you to go onto my website at www.drrom.co and fill out a questionnaire and sign up for a free strategy session so we can pinpoint areas of your life that maybe you're not approaching as courageously as you should be. That's it for today. I hope you enjoy this insight. I will see you guys next time. Take care. Bye.